from being a man to being a daddy. And that's a huge transition because not every man can be a daddy. And so you become from this hard person, you become soft.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy John Davids, and welcome to episode number 13. And as you know, we're having Father's Day coming up soon, so what better way than to speak with the father himself, father of many nations, no one else but the father of G Square, Jono Green.
Yo, what's up, John?
It's good to have you again. Again. For those that have listened to John's first episode, if you didn't go way back and go listen to that.
Yeah.
And know
we know who listened and who didn't.
We do. We actually do. So Jono, what's been happening since the last time?
So many things have happened.
Just tell me for anything.
A lot of things. Where do you want me to start?
Anywhere.
So since then, my daughter started working. She finished matric, so she's working. She got the results and alles. G Squared has grown in a good way.
New branding.
New branding, new logos and stuff. But personally, I've grown because I got to meet some good people who have helped me and shaped my knowledge and wisdom and things like that. So yeah.
We are, like I say, we are celebrating Father's Day coming soon. Are you excited for Father's Day?
Yo, I'm very excited. I think I'm gonna get a pair of socks.
Again?
I need socks, bro. You see my toenails and you understand.
Are you over the socks thing now?
Nah, look, to me the gift is not the important thing.
But you're also like, again socks.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah. Look, I don't use the sock to kiss, man.
Yeah. So let me just go. As you're speaking about father, I want to ask you quickly one quick question. What was the feeling like the first time you're going to be a father?
Yo, it was about 20 years ago. Because I old man, bro. Yeah. It was 20, but it is one of the most exhilarating emotions that you can ever have. You know, like when you're pumping a jump and your heart beats like super fast, like, and your aura in your arms are standing out and you are really pumped. That's how it feels on the inside when you find out you're gonna be a daddy.
And the moment, like when you know the child is there, like,
yo, when I saw his face for the first time, it's like you go from this masculinity to this kitten where you just want to. That's my man.
Yo.
It's like you go from being a man to being a daddy. And that's a huge transition because not every man can be a daddy. And so you become from this hard person, you become soft. Not soft where they won't get back, but soft, you know, in a loving, nurturing way.
Your perspective of life change?
Definitely. Yeah. Because now you think differently. Now you think as a protector. Now you don't just think as someone looking out for himself.
I'm in all honesty, I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna love my children to birth soon. I'm really excited actually to be a father. I'm really just to know like this is come here. I just call you come here. Don't play that. Don't play there, man. Come here today. That will be super exciting. What would you say? From your 20 years of being a father, what would you say was one of the biggest struggles that you had as a father or that fathers have in general?
I think it's the transition from when your kids become teenagers, because you remember yourself as a teenager, so you know what they're going to be facing and you know what things they're going to be struggling with. You know what temptation is going to hit them now. I think for me that was the biggest thing. Also when we grew up, there wasn't technology. All we had was SABC 1, 2, CCTV and whatever, you know. And it was limited, so TV would go off at a certain time. So our children are faced with technology 24/7. and to a certain extent there's no control. So as a father you always want to be in control. So you want to control how the transition from going from a lighty to a teenager. I could have had a better word than lighty, but to a teenager, and then also knowing what they are exposed to in their teenagers. And so that for me was still a big challenge. Because I still have kids who are teenagers, so it's still a big challenge.
And the little one is going to be a teenager. It's going to be even...
Yeah, but I think he's more teenager than the others.
Obviously, there's a lot of decisions that you've made, and it's after your heart that you make a decision that's good for your children. What was one of your most difficult times or decision where you'd be like, it's hard, but...
So if you know my story, you would know that I'm divorced. My first marriage was a failure, and the biggest decision that I had to make was, do I decide or do I hand my kids over to my ex-wife or do I keep them? And as challenging as it was, I kept the kids with me, and that was one of the biggest challenges as a father that I've had to make, or decisions that I had to make as a father, because now you don't have that partner anymore. It's, now you're sole alone, you're all alone. It's net jy. And what you're gonna do? You've always done it with someone else. Now are you gonna? Who knows?
So you are literally the source that you used to like go to, because obviously I can always tell you like, how's this coffee tasting? And like, can you see what I use coffee? Like, you can always tell me no too much sugar. But now if I'm the only person, I literally need to make the decision of is this right or is this wrong, or actually have to learn also through my mistakes and things like that. So yeah, but what is one of your moments that you will never forget as a father, like till today?
Yeah. One of the most amazing moments was, like we said in the beginning, when I held my baby for the first time. There's no feeling like getting married. I said in the last class, getting married is liquor. It's like the best thing. But holding your child, you know, because this is what I made. I created this. Yes, God created us, but you know, it's this is mine. That's what Yes, we know exactly what happened. Yep, we know exactly what happened. Yeah. So that for me was, and when you look into that baby's eyes, and the baby looks back at you, and you're like, this child recognizes me, even though they don't. But you know, I think that is the most, that's a killing, knop in the keel moment. Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm really, by the time where I'm like, I really can't wait. I think I'm gonna be super dramatic. I'm gonna be super excited. Everyone's gonna know. My wife was pregnant. You know, you guys gonna know every day. Like, I'm so tired now because my son. So keep me. I will always. There's a quote that says, "A father is neither anchor that hold us back, nor a sail that take us there, but is a guiding light whose love shows us the way." I read this quote and I was thinking to myself like, it's the truth in some cases and also not the truth in other cases, but we're not going to speak about that. We want to speak about positivity. My question is that why do you think as fathers, we always have this like fathers hard and fathers like this, and why don't we see the father as a guiding light in our society? But more like somebody like, you don't want me to do that, you don't want... I remember my dad would be like, you're not going to go sleep out. You're not going to go... Like, why are you like this? But now that I'm older, I'm like, you knew. You knew exactly why you didn't allow me to go sleep over or to go to a certain place, and you said no and I had to stay and I felt crap. But why do you think we are having this type now, like where we think of like, your dad is always like why?
I think God created us with, as men, God created us with the instinct to protect and to look after our family, because that is our role as men, to look after our family. Unfortunately, in society today, men have forgotten their roles and they've forgotten what they were created for and designed for. So with everything, when you're designing something, there's a pattern, right? So you cannot design something without a blueprint. So a pattern, a blueprint is the same thing. You can't design something without that blueprint. And if I look at God, God is our protector. But He's also our loving Father. He's also our caregiver. He's also the one that nourishes, the one that feeds, the one that looks after. And that is the job of a father. And so God designed us from His blueprint. And what we neglect to do in society, in today's society, is that fathers have neglected their responsibility. They've also forgotten what their role is as a father, and they've handed over the power to the mommy, and they've handed power over to the children. And who's to blame? Our forefathers, our mothers, society. No, I'm to blame because I know what my job is. I know what my responsibility is. But it's easy for me just to give it away. So yes, father should be a guiding light. But the problem is in our society and with us as fathers is that we've dimmed our lights. We have either dimmed our light or we switched it off because it's someone else's job. It's the lighthouse. The lighthouse can make sure that you don't run aground. When am I going to take up my cross? When am I going to take up my responsibility and do what I am supposed to do as a daddy?
Yeah, meneer, you might go deep in it. I like this question, or the statement. They say that a father is a husband, a man is a husband, he's a priest, he's a protector, he's a provider, and in this case also a businessman. How do you just adjust from coming to being a businessman into your car, becoming a son, becoming a father, and if you fall, you pick him up, you become protector, going on your way to your wife, become a husband? How do you just adjust it, and how do you kind of balance that, the mental state from the pressure that's on a father?
It's not easy, no? It's not easy being all those things and still having to run your own business, sometimes 2 or 3 businesses. Because that's currently what I do to sustain my family. But it is something you learn. It is something I think it's important that you have a partner who understands you. A marriage is a partnership. It's not a one-way street, or it's not a two-way street where she does her thing and you do your thing. It's a partnership. You do things together. It's a highway. And on a highway, as you know, there are lots of different cars going at different speeds, right? But you and your wife have to maintain a constant speed. Right? She cannot be going faster than you, or you cannot be going faster. You have to maintain a speed, cruise control. So you don't take your work home. A lot of people do, and there's nothing wrong in doing it, but you have to disassociate between work and home. And that is why your partner should understand that. And that's why you should have a partner who understands. So a lot of times I will go home and I will go and offload. So I will offload my bags, offload my pockets, offload, and then then I offload the pressures that I face, so that I can then become an efficient father, an efficient husband, an efficient home giver. Because your home revolves around you as a father. Something you don't realize it, but there's a lot of pressure on you as being a father. But the disassociation is not easy. It's very difficult. It's almost like you're switching roles. It's not easy, especially if you're a business owner. This is a family-run business. So the business is part of the family. The family is part of the business. But you have to break even. There has to be a break. You can't just be business-minded all the time.
What is your escape mechanism? Like, what do you do? Are you a game person? Are you a...
So no, I don't play games, as in Xbox or that. I do play some football game on my phone. Sometimes that is my escape. But the best escape...
I don't know, okay. No judgment here. None.
The best escape is running to the toilet, my bro. That's the best escape. When I just want to break away, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. Ik kan awesome mensen. They got me in the toilet van.
Is it?
Yeah, I call that my office. Because I'm permitting faxes.
So that's because a lot of people have, obviously, and especially the reason why I'm asking, because I'm always thinking a lot of fathers can learn from this, because a lot of times you must always be this character because you must like that you don't. I've had family members and he's not a deep brew and that's all he is. No father, no he don't show compassion, he doesn't. But in church he plays his role like as a father, and I think that it's because obviously your sons and your daughters look like you. You can preach well, or you can pray good in church, but when you come home, there's nothing. There's a toolbox. And I do think it's important for our fathers to have that, like you said, you need to disconnect that of I'm not a priest right now. My wife wants me to be a husband, and you're just like, but so, it's important.
No, it is very important, and especially if you're in ministry as well. So there's that serious part of your life where you have to counsel with people and you have to do whatever you do. Another escape for me is worship. So when I have a really tough day, and sometimes you walk into the shop and you will hear worship music is playing and you will like, of your cake and the plate. But that is sometimes my escape. So I will, when I'm opening the shop or when I'm closing, and I will then put on my worship just so that I can clear my mind. Because I don't want to take whatever I'm feeling and go and take it out to my family. I've done that. And you leave deep scars. It's very dangerous. And like you said, children sometimes don't know who you are. You stand up front and you have beautiful lessons, you do a beautiful worship session and whatever, and you come home and flip sy, gooi die kombuis uit by die venster en sy skop die hond en sy knyp die kat, and it's not who you are. So I always try to be the same person that I am at work. The jovial, jokey person I try to be at home. There are times when I'm very serious and I'm very moody. I'm a very moody person. But there's times for everything. And it's where you find yourself and how you find yourself is really important. So ga toilet toe.
En speel sokke. What would you, and this is my indication, what would you want your children to remember about you as a father, and what would you want to like implement into your children as sons, like as a kid, to be like, this is one thing as a father, I think it's Joseph spoke to his children, whoever it is in the Bible, he spoke to his children, he's like this and this. What would you want to then leave to your children? And
okay, so what was that first question again?
The first one, what would you want your sons to, like your sons to be as in a father?
Okay, so what I want them to remember is that my life I should be living as a legacy. So when the day I'm not here anymore, that my legacy will continue. Right? But one thing I want them to remember is never to be like me. Always to be better. So aim higher than what you see in me as a father. That's for my sons. For my daughter, don't let your husband treat you the same way that I treated your mother. Let him treat you better. So always, for my children, always aim for better. And then, what was the second question? You got a short memory.
Since you're really a father, the one was like, obviously, what do you want them to remember you as? Like?
Okay. I would like them to remember me as not a father, but as a person who gave everything for the ones that he loved. So to me, showing people and telling people, or telling people you love them, is completely different to telling them you love them and showing them how much you love them. So I want them to remember me as loving them. And I can only do that if I know how the Father loves me. And when I can project the love that the Father has on my life, I can project onto my children's life. That is what I want them to remember me by, is that He treated us the way God treats us. He showed grace. He showed mercy. He judged and he disciplined, but he did it with love. Because, and that's another ill in our society, is people show love in different forms. And most times it's not the proper form of love. They tell you they love you, but behind the corner they clap you floor. And so I want my kids to remember that Daddy loved us the way God loves the church, because that is my mandate as a father, to love. So, yeah.
Oh, and we're really closing now. We're ending because you're
Yeah,
really getting sentimental here.
Again,
You're getting,
so quick.
what would you tell our fathers, or what would you wish on to our fathers that we should learn now at this age?
Be available. Be present. Spoke about mandates. I spoke about responsibility. I spoke about the design that how we were created. Love the design. But if there's one thing I can instill within a father, if I can instill something within any fathers listening, is that get to know the father. A lot of us don't know what it is like to be a daddy, because like you always say, your daddy was there, but he wasn't also there. You know, he was present, but he wasn't involved. But when we get to know who the father is, and we use that as our role model, we use him as our role model, then becoming him to our children would be so much easier.
Whoa! I'm gonna cut it there. That's way too hot. You need to cut it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jono Green. And I think that is absolute amazing advice that you give. Thank you again for willing yourself. For the second time, we're still waiting for we still need to complete the other 8 episodes. Yeah, we're gonna make a series, a Jono series. But thank you again for coming, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please tag in your fathers and whoever needs to listen to this. And we are out of here.